In this episode of the Bucs Daily MinuteCast, your Tampa Bay Buccaneers have to move practice because of the pending hurricane that is headed their way. Coach Todd Bowles said that the Bucs need to use Keyshawn, Vaughn, and Rachaad Whitemore out there. And Tom Brady says that too many of the plays on Sunday were with poor execution. We'll talk about all of that and more next on this edition of the Bucs Daily MinuteCast. Keep it right here. Support for the Bucs Daily MinuteCast is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package, the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer just for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with promo code MinuteCast at manscaped.com. That's promo code MinuteCast at manscaped.com. Inside this package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 Weed Whacker Ear and Nose Hair Trimmer, Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, Crop Reviver, Performance Boxer Briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies. First off, the Lawnmower 4.0 is the future of grooming and, dare I say, the greatest ball hair trimmer ever. Their fourth-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 is a waterproof and also has a 4000K LED spotlight. You need a more precise shave. Because this trimmer is waterproof, you can say goodbye to the mess on the bathroom floor. You thought that was good, but want to take your grooming game even further to the next level? Their Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Weed Whacker Nose and Hair Trimmer. The Weed Whacker is also waterproof and provides proprietary skin technology, which helps reduce nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate areas. Their Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner will change the way you approach your hygiene routine. Trust me when I tell you this, fellas, your balls will thank you. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Bring your comfort in boxers to another level. It's time to take care of yourself. So go to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping with promo code MinuteCast. So get 20% off and free shipping with promo code MinuteCast at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com and use promo code MINUTECAST. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
MinuteCast Media.
10,000!
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers MinuteCast starts right now.
Bucs on 3, 1, 2, 3, Bucs!
This is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers MinuteCast. Well, hello and welcome into this edition of the Bucs Daily MinuteCast. I'm so glad you decided to join me today. As always, this podcast is free and available on all the major platforms. You can find this podcast on the Bucs Report. Check them out online, bucsreport.com. You can also find this podcast on YouTube. Just search for the Bucs Report. And of course, you can find this podcast wherever you find your audio podcasts. My name is Dan Holme. You can find me on Twitter. It's at DanCaps218. So your Tampa Bay Buccaneers fall to the Green Bay Packers by a score of 12-14. And it was a game that was talked up about a lot because, potentially it could be one of the last times, if not the last time, that Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers square off. And there was a lot at stake during this game, and you could tell that the Bucs were really dialed in. But at the end of the day, they did not have the offensive horsepower to force a victory over the Green Bay Packers. And, it was some late minute stuff there where they had that late minute penalty there. And, just so many different situations throughout the game where it appeared that they could come back and actually win this game. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Packers didn't totally destroy the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but at the end of the day, they picked up the W, and the Bucs have to regroup and get ready. But they have bigger things to worry about right now, as there is a hurricane heading straight for the Tampa area. So they have moved camp to the Dolphins facility for the meantime, and we'll talk about that in this show. But to just get it going here, Tom Brady says Cole Beasley did a great job for us on a short week. And, he didn't have a lot of reps with the team. He didn't have a lot of reps with Brady. And, there was some improvement out there in comparison to what you saw when he first came to the team and he kind of muffed that punt return at practice. I'm like, oh, God, if this is what we have, then we do have some things to worry about. Tom Brady says there were too many plays tonight with poor execution on offense in today's game. Our job is to go out there and score points. We're not going to do that with poor execution. And, it almost seems like the Bucs were kind of caught up in their own head. That, they knew that they were missing a lot of key offensive pieces in the form of Godwin and Evans. And, at the end of the day, Perriman and Scotty Miller and the likes of that, Gage, it was not enough for Tom Brady to end up, to use all of his weapons at his disposal. And the Packers found a way to win the game. Todd Bowles says the Bucs didn't have to have their missing offensive pieces to win the game. Again, made mistakes and shot themselves in the foot. And that last minute penalty there when it was a delay of game, you could see when they panned the camera over to Todd Bowles, he had that look on his face like, oh my God, it was just right in our grasp. And we let it go, out of our hands. Head coach Todd Bowles says the Bucs made 6 crucial penalties that cost them the games. So Lenny played 59 of the 65 offensive snaps yesterday. The other two backs, Keyshawn Vaughn and Rachaad White, combined for 6 offensive snaps. We'll try to get an answer from Bowles today on why they aren't employed. And, the question is, and I noticed that, and I know that they like to go by default. They like to go with Fournette because he is the bigger frame. And let's face it, he is the number one running back for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Make no mistake about it. But, when you're not getting that production that you need, then maybe you need to insert someone like a Keyshawn Vaughn or a Rachaad White and just see, if you can catch any kind of break out there. Because sometimes if you just change the lineups out there a little bit, you can find a way to get some success out there, kind of like what they did last year when Fournette was injured. Everyone last year when Fournette was injured, they were like, oh my God, the sky's falling. What are we going to do? Guess what? Keyshawn Vaughn and Giovanni Bernard and the likes of those players, they stepped up and filled those roles. And that's what they're going to have to do. If they weren't getting that production, they should have stepped it up a little bit more. There are the active receivers at Tom Brady's disposal. They had Russell Gage, Brashard Perriman, Scotty Miller, Cole Beasley, Jalen Darden, and Kalen Geiger. Also, Kyle Rudolph is active for the first time as a Buccaneer with rookie tight end Cade Otton attending to a personal matter. Bucs receiver Scotty Miller today, 5 targets, 1 catch, 4 yards, had a false start. So essentially negative yardage for the day. And I am on team Scotty Miller. Don't, get me wrong here, but, he kind of has to make the most of his opportunities when he's playing out there. He fought for a spot on this team and he got it. And he needs to step up and make these plays. Now, you could sit there and argue semantics. Was it a bad pass by Tom Brady, or was he out of position? Listen here. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin find a way to figure it out. Scotty Miller, if he wants to continue to have a spot on this team, has got to find a way to figure it out, or he's going to be the odd man out. I know that he fought very hard to get on this team and he really, put in the extra effort. But if he's going to shoot himself in the foot right now, then was it all worth it in the first place? Should they have kept one of the other guys that they released? Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers said he saw something on the RJS Jumbotron that helped Packers defend the 2-point conversion. Well, they showed it on the previous play too, Rodgers said. Fox's Tom Rinaldi told after the game it was a delay on both plays, but sometimes you see things in the game. Sometimes the Jumbotron shows things they probably shouldn't show, even at home. I saw something. I just passed on the information. It's unclear what he meant by the observers on social media say Rodgers saw Brady and the Bucs selecting plays. And it is kind of uncharacteristic for Tom Brady to get those kind of penalties against him, because generally he is very aware of where the clock is at. And the ending of the game there just seemed very uncharacteristic of the Bucs in general, but also uncharacteristic of Tom Brady, who always seems to be on top of these kind of things. Jones reportedly has a partially torn posterior ligament in his knee. He did not attempt to run or test it with trainers before the game. And some good news here is that Tom Brady and his mom, dad, and all 3 kids were at the game and greeted him. So there is, talk about there all this season if there's strife at home with Tom Brady and Giselle. But, if Brady's there with his kids and his mom and dad, maybe that is helping, give him a little bit more peace of mind, because in the beginning there, he seemed like he was caught kind of all out of sorts and disoriented. His hair was all messed up and using 4-letter words, just not typical Tom Brady stuff. So for Tom Brady to actually, have that support of his family at the game, I think was a big deal out there. NFL is replacing the Pro Bowl with a multi-day skills competition and flag football game that will be played in Las Vegas the Sunday before the Super Bowl. And, the Pro Bowl is one of the things that, in general, all-star games are not viewed that much. But what is viewed in all sports, if you take a look at baseball, it's the home run derby. If you take a look at the NHL, it's the skills competition. So, I think that the NFL is a little bit slow to the party, a little bit late, and they should have done this earlier, because, anytime you watch these games, no matter what sport it is, they're playing it half-assed out there and they are risking injury. I've always kind of wondered why they did it in the first place. Coach Todd Bowles on the clock, problems with the delay of game penalty during the 2-point conversion. One time it said 25, the next time it said 20. We're looking into it right now. We'll send it in to the NFL and see what they say, but we've got to get the ball off. We've got to be cognizant of the fact that the unit, and we've played enough ball to know where we're at and to get the ball snapped. And that's what I was talking about, just uncharacteristic play of Tom Brady, who always seems to be cognizant of where the clock is. And, rarely do you see him get a penalty such as that. Head coach Todd Bowles, like I talked about, saying that Rachaad White and Keyshawn Vaughn need more play. Even as they're getting as much play for Leonard Fournette, they do need to find a way to get Rachaad White and Keyshawn Vaughn out there. Why they're not getting all the reps, I'm not really sure. I do think that in the game against the next game against Kansas City, I do think that you will probably see more action from them. With Hurricane Ian looming, the Buccaneers are evacuating Tampa on Tuesday afternoon and will spend the week practicing at the Dolphins training facility. The NFL will continue to monitor whether the Bucs and Chiefs can play in Tampa on Sunday night. The Bucs have invited players and coaches' families to join them in South Florida while the team practices at the Dolphins facility as Hurricane Ian threatens the Tampa Bay region. And I'm not in the Tampa area, but my, prayers and thoughts are going out to everyone that is in the Tampa area, that I hope everyone out there is safe. And if you have the opportunity and the means to get out of town, and then by all means do so, because, I know that people like to oftentimes stay behind and protect their properties, but put it in this way. If you have the opportunity and the means to get out, I think it's a good idea to do that. The Bucs will utilize the Dolphins practice fields and weight room. Miami plays at Cincinnati Thursday night. So good on the Dolphins for having the hospitality to invite the Buccaneers into their facility. All right, so in some other news here, the Buccaneers, Bowles, and Brady concerned with lack of production, and I'm concerned with lack of production. This story was in ESPN. They were talking about it, and my biggest concern is that this Bucs-led team by Tom Brady is taking on a Chiefs team that is led by Mahomes. And Mahomes is one heck of a quarterback. I don't think we can really dispute that. On 3rd and 3 with 1:08 left in the third quarter, Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady dropped back, saw the pocket around him was quickly collapsing, and realized he had no open receivers downfield. After dodging 2 Green Bay Packers defenders, the 45-year-old took off running. I saw a lot of open green grass and no Packers, Brady said. I could turn a 40-yard gain into 18 better than anyone in the NFL. Unfortunately, I slid, I broke my knee brace, and I had to get on the sideline. But if I'm running, it's usually not a good thing. So I'll give it to the guys who run with it. And for God's sakes, Tom Brady, I know that they lost a game to the Packers. But, it's one thing about losing the battle. You don't want to lose the war. And we don't want, as bad as things are, and, the lack of offense that's out there, subtract Brady from that equation, it's much worse. It would have been just the Bucs' second third down conversion of the game, but it was called back because of a holding call on a third string left tackle, Brandon Walton, illustrating how dire things have become for one of the NFL's most potent offenses the last 2 years. And, to a certain extent, I'm beginning to think, is Tom Brady thinking, why did I come back again? I had this good retirement and I was going to ride out into the sunset, and I couldn't leave it alone, and I had to come back. Brady was without his top 3 receivers, Evans, Godwin, and Julio Jones. The Bucs 2-1 will get Evans, who's serving a 1-game suspension, back this week. Coach Todd Bowles said after the game that Jones, who missed his second straight game with a knee injury, was well enough to play, but the team decided to hold him back 1 more week. So he should be back as well. It's unclear when Godwin will return after missing the last 2 games with a hamstring injury. But without the trio and the core pieces of his O-line, Brady and the offensive line have not looked the same. It's concerning, Bowles said when asked about the offense. It's concerning. We didn't have those guys to win this ball game. We just needed to play smarter. And that's what I'm talking about. This Bucs team is going to have to get it together if they want to play and beat a Kansas City team that is 2-1 and has a lot of firepower on their team. And they have one of their biggest assets on their team is who? Mahomes. And he's one heck of a quarterback. And, like I say, the Bucs are really going to need to dial it in. On paper, it kind of looked like the Bucs should probably have beat the Packers, but ultimately that was not the case. But they are hoping for another big win on Sunday. All right, once again, thank you for joining me on this late night edition of the Bucs Daily MinuteCast. Once again, take 20% off plus free worldwide shipping with promo code MinuteCast at manscaped.com. This offer ends on October 8th. All right, we'll talk to you guys again next time. Thanks for watching.